All right, anybody else got one of these lovely things, a menopausal belly that you just can't get rid of? Maybe it's grown its own personality, its own zip code, perhaps. Yeah, we're going to be talking about menopausal weight gain and belly fat today, especially belly fat. So if you're interested in that, stick around. I'm Dr. Nancy. I'm the midwife of Midlife, and I'm a psychologist with a private practice. But in my online coaching biz here, I create resources like this for women like you to help you use the challenges of midlife and menopause as a catalyst for change, to help you up-level your life so that you can be happy, vibrant, and alive well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. I feel like it's the changes we make now that really set ourselves up to thrive into old age. So if that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about belly fat and about hormones, stress, unhealed trauma, all those favorite things that you love, and how self-compassion might just be the key to get that belly fat to relax and maybe even shrink a little bit. This isn't a normal fix your body talk that talks about diet, although I believe in diet and exercise as much as the next guy. I just feel like there's not enough people talking about some of the emotional and underlying issues. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Why belly fat happens in menopause. It's hormonal shifts. And I know you've all heard that before. Our besties, estrogen and progesterone, do some wild things in midlife, and it affects our stress hormones like cortisol. And our body loves to pack on extra padding when we're under stress. And so that is really what's going on. Our bodies are very smart. Also, so it's the emotional stress that's going on, but it's also like the stress of our environment. I heard recently that our body stores toxins in our fat. And so we should really be grateful for this belly fat, because it's actually probably saving our lives. If those toxins were suddenly released into our body with a fast weight loss, it might not even be good for us. But emotionally, we're under a lot of stress too. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because we're going through this revamping of our mind, body, and spirit during this menopause transition, or what is going on, but our old trauma tends to come back at this time. It's almost like our body's saying, hey, remember that thing from 15 years ago? Well, I'm still holding on to it. You may not even be thinking about it, but I'm holding on to it right here to get your attention. So if we learn to listen to our bodies, it, might really help us out. So let's talk about some myths. Myths about belly fat. Myth number one is it's just about food. Yeah, diet matters a lot, and I'm really a proponent of doing the experiments necessary to find out what particular diet works for your body. For some people, it's vegan. For some people, it's paleo. For some people, it's intermittent fasting. That's my personal favorite. Love educating myself on diet and exercise and how to eat in the way that's most beneficial for my body. But stress and cortisol is a huge issue. So it's not, even if you eat the perfect diet, sometimes your weight won't really reduce as much as you would like. And that's because of the emotional baggage that we're carrying around. So myth two is that you can beat belly fat by criticizing yourself. And we may not specifically say that out loud, but if we become really conscious of the voices inside our head and the internal dialogue that is going on in relation to our physical bodies, we will hear some pretty toxic messages, right? I mean, even me, like, I'm all about self-compassion and mindfulness and being in the present. But when at my heyday in midlife, I was probably 15 pounds heavier than I am right now, I was really criticizing myself over and over again, like, oh, I just hate this belly. If I could do something about this belly. Those thoughts are toxic to us. So if we're constantly at war with our belly, it's kind of going to dig in and stay. Try a new approach, shall we? Myth number three is that quick fixes work. And I think they did. They used to work in our 20s, right? We could go off the rails, gain 5 pounds, and be like, oh, okay, I just need to exercise harder and eat right. And that just doesn't work for us anymore, which ironically is probably a gift because going on those roller coaster diets and stuff, it's not good for us. It wasn't good for us then, and it's certainly not good for us now. And this is about making healthy changes to our lifestyle in, in incremental, responsible, consistent ways that maybe we weren't even able to do at earlier times in our life. So, why is self compassion the key to releasing this belly fat? Well, basically, when we are criticizing ourselves, we are in a negative mood state. We feel under attack, we feel stressed, and our stress hormones like cortisol go up in that moment. And the more our cortisol goes up, the more we keep packing on the weight. It's like a protective mechanism. It's a protective mechanism. And so when we even feed ourselves like 2 or 3 minutes of gratitude and self compassion, it immediately lowers our cortisol in that moment and makes it more likely that over time, practicing this, our menopausal belly fat will start to release. Okay. Also, I've talked about in previous videos, as we get into midlife, there are tons of additional unique triggers that fire off the fight or flight response from all of our unhealed shit from our past, which also drives up cortisol. So, midlife is kind of this great opportunity to actually use our belly fat as a sign that we need to go back in time and heal that trauma at a deeper level so that when these trigger events happen in our environment and in our life, we no longer are sent into this fight or flight response that causes our cortisol to go up. Does that make sense? Even if you do nothing, if you can begin to notice your internal dialogue around your belly fat, and when you catch her saying, ugh, I just hate this belly, if you could just stop and tell that voice, thank you, I appreciate you trying to help me, but I don't need you right now. And then substitute that I hate this belly fat for something like, my body is doing its best and I'm here to support it. Then we can begin to embrace this bulge with kindness and compassion, and it's more likely to shift. So even if you just do that one simple change, just noticing when you're criticizing yourself and shifting it for a more compassionate thought. So if this approach to belly fat and midlife resonates with you, then please hit the subscribe button. We're here for real talk and real healing at all levels when it comes to menopause and midlife. And also, don't forget to check out my free meditation classes. You can find them in the link below, www.themidwifeofmidlife.com/meditate. And you can find like my latest free meditation class that's coming, no matter when you are watching this video. So just remember, we're embracing the bulge, not battling it. And the irony is, once we do, it might just shrink on its own. Belly fat during menopause is normal, but it's also a sign that our bodies are craving extra compassion and love. So if we can just shift our mindset, maybe we can shift that belly fat, not by force, not by hardcore dieting and hardcore exercise and beating ourselves up, but through compassion and love. Doesn't that sound nice? See you in the next video. Sending so much love. Mwah.